Radio Raheem here with John David Jackson. The big fight is finally officially on. We've been waiting for Kovalev Ward. It's finally happening. As a trainer, when you know a fight like this is underway, it's gonna happen. No more hesitation. What's the mindset when you walk in the gym for the first time?
Well, the mindset is in a war. It's time to go to war and get ready to have the right preparation and the right game plan to offset whatever Andre Ward's going to bring to the table. So at this point, it's just war.
Well, we know that Andre Ward is an experienced fighter, and he's considered a very technically proficient fighter. You face something like that when you face Bernard Hopkins with Sergey. Is the approach very much different for this fight?
It's a little bit different because you're fighting a younger version of Bernard, a little bit stronger. Listen, I knew by the time we got with Bernard, he was done. I told you a long time ago, that fight's going to be easier than most people really realize. I don't anticipate that same easiness for this fight because, listen, Andre is a hell of a fighter. Any fighter that was able to go undefeated as an amateur, bad decisions and still, hey, you want to go medal, I take my hat off to him. I may say things about him and they may not like him, but I have to get inside his head. But when it's all said and done, I truly, truly respect him as a fighter because he's done things. Listen, he won a gold medal. I didn't win a gold medal. I can't knock him. He done something I never done, so how can I knock the man? And as a pro, he cleaned up the 168-pound division. Hey, God bless him. So now it's time to move up and fight the true 175-pound king, and let's see if you're qualified to be the 175-pound king.
Now, we saw on Saturday night, he won every round, dominated Brand, but wasn't able to knock him down, didn't seem to buckle him, certainly didn't get a knockout. Is that a mental note that you took? Do you think that's because the power's not there at 75?
Well, I knew the power wasn't there. The power wasn't there at 68 because he wasn't a knockout puncher at 68. And listen, to add fuel to the fire, his chin wasn't the best at 68. Boone dropped him, some other kid dropped him, and I had him hurt. What do you think I had when Sergey hits him flush? You think he'll stand up? We'll see. I hope. Hey, listen, I would love for him to try to prove me wrong. Put your chin out there and let's see if he's not going to do that. See, he's not a fool. Listen, very good fighter. Very good fighter. You can't underestimate him, and if you do, you're stupid. He's one of the best, and he's done what he's supposed to do in his weight division. Now it's time to move up and see if he can become the 175-pound king.
Now, you said he's not going to put his chin out there. He's not stupid. He didn't seem to want to take any real big chances against even Brand, so that's a reasonable assessment. That being a given, are you concerned about Kovalev's skill if Ward makes it awkward and difficult and inside, that he can find the distance to take advantage of his power?
No, we're gonna work on all that. I'm gonna break all that down for him. We're gonna watch films and, listen, Andre's good at a lot of things, but his inside game is not as good as people think it is. There's a lot of grabbing, holding, and on the inside you have to be willing to take some shots. So Sergey's gonna lay some leather on him and see if he want to take it and if he wants to give it back. It's an intriguing fight for the fans. It's a fight that the fans deserve, and I'm glad that it's coming because you didn't get Kovalev Stevenson, you got Mayweather Pacquiao 5 years too late. This fight's right on time. Here's the one thing that people don't realize. The fans, I'm gonna stress to them: the last 5 years of Ward's life have been wasted. He's had 3 fights. His prime years are gone. Those were his prime years. So now he's entering a different phase, and what he may say he has it. Those 5 years are gone. You can't get them back, and your best years are gone. And now you're facing a killer. Can you hold that killer off if you couldn't knock this other guy out? What are you gonna do when you give him the Sergey? So there's a lot of questions to be answered on both parts. Not just Ward. Sergey has some questions too. So the fight the fans definitely deserve to see, and I'm glad that this is happening so that it keeps boxing going the way it should go.
After the Chilembo fight, you said flat out, if he trains or performs like this against Ward, we'll lose. Obviously, you don't want to lose. How do you change this camp to make sure that whatever went wrong in the last camp, you can talk about it if you want to talk about that, to make sure that doesn't happen again?
Well, the last camp, he wanted to do things his own way, and part of that was bringing me in 3 weeks just prior. So it gave him a lot of chances to do what he wanted to do, and when I got to camp, he was still doing what he wanted to do. I think he kind of sold Chilembo kind of short, and Chilembo's a world-class fighter. And the fact that he went the distance showed that he was determined at least not get knocked out. But Sergey helped because Sergey wasn't in tip-top condition for that fight. So what we took from that fight, and hopefully that Sergey took it, is listen, I can't, at this stage of my career, if I want to be the best, I got to take everybody serious, especially this kid right here, Ward. Because he's undefeated. He doesn't know what defeat is. You want to make him feel what it feels like to have defeat for the first time as a pro. All right, so This fight definitely there's a lot more at stake. It's pay-per-view, it's first fight on pay-per-view, and if he wants to be a pay-per-view fighter, he has to definitely show the fans that he deserves to be there and make them want to buy his fights at this point. Mm-hmm. And there's 2 or 3 fights out there that people still want to buy should he get past Ward. So for him, there's definitely an upside. And because he's of the 2, he's a more exciting fighter. Ward wins, you know what Ward's going to do. Ward's going to do the same thing he always does. He's going to beat you his way. It may be boring, but it works for him. And I'm not knocking it because it works for him. But the fans want to see exciting knockouts. And that's what Kovalev represents. That's what he brings to the table. So for him, it's more. There's more to lose if he loses this fight. So we're going to take this fight serious, and we're going to break it down and see if we can, dot all the I's and cross all the T's and make sure that we leave no stone unturned with this fight.
I'm sure you guys would be happy to win either way, obviously on the card or on the canvas with a knockout. But it seems unlikely, given all that we've talked about, that Ward would be vulnerable to a 12-round decision loss. How important is it for Sergey to press the action and go for the knockout, especially if the opportunity is there? Was he willing to take those chances to stop this fight before it gets to the judges?
Oh, listen, Kovalev loves a knockout. He loves a knockout. So if the opportunity presents itself, he's gonna take it. He loves a knockout. But with Ward, you can't get lost. You can't get lost in the thought of trying to knock him out, because rounds go by. You might be down 6 rounds to 1 all of a sudden. Now you got to play catch up, and then once you're that far behind the 8-ball, now you got to go for the knockout. So we're going to take round by round. There's certain things that Andre does well that you got to take him out of his game and make him not do those things. And if you can make him not do that, then you got yourself a pretty good fight that you can win on decision. But if you get behind in points that Andre do the thing that he does best, now you're in trouble. And you can't let him dictate the pace the way he wants to, or do the things the way he wants. He can't grab, he can't hold. On the inside, you got to do certain things to make him fight. So there's things that we have to do to make sure that he can't do the things that have made him as good as they made him. And he draws people into his fight, and they become one-sided, boring, a lot of holding, a lot of grabbing, a lot of wrestling, but it works for him, and he jabs you to death. So there's things we got to do to make sure that those things don't happen, and that Sergey is on top of his game. It makes Ward not only press him, have effective aggression, not just be aggressive, but effective aggression. That's what we have to have, effective aggression to take him out of his game, his comfort zone, his game plan, and make him fight. If you just follow him around, he's gonna pick you apart. It's gonna be a boring fight. Hey, you think he cares? As long as he wins, that's all he wants. I don't blame him. That's all he wants.
A lot of people have Andre Ward still at the top of the pound-for-pound list. Number 1, some people got him at number 2, but definitely at the top. If Kovalev is able to be successful as you expect him to be on November 19th, does that put Kovalev at the top of that list for you?
Listen, it puts him in the top 3. It's like I told a reporter last night. Those are kind of mythical things. You just chase him because you want to. If your ego is big enough, you want to be that person. Maybe if Sergey made it to the point he wants to be that guy. So if it's there for him, a win catapults him at least the top 3. Maybe 2. It might make him 1. Everybody says Ward number 2, but listen. In 5 years, he's fallen a lot. I'm not saying he's fallen in skill-wise, because he still has that. But the prime is gone. See, 27, 32, that's your prime. That's gone, and he's on the other side of that hill. He's going down. So, I'm sorry that happened to him, but I'm happy for my side that it did. It makes things better for us.
If your camp goes as planned, Kovalev does what you tell him, and the fight is proceeding right on schedule, give me a round for the knockout.
11th round knockout.
Radio Raheem with John David Jackson, always breaking it down to the barest essentials. I appreciate the time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
John David Jackson.
Thank you very much.